Hi friends! Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, February 1st. Welcome to February. I can't believe that it went by that fast. So it is Black History Month, and so we're going to go ahead and work with an organization to make sure we bring a resolution forward, or proclamation forward, and we did bring one forward for Career and Technical Education Month. That was brought forward by TUSD coordinator Chuck McCullum, so it was nice to see him on this board meeting and not a TUSD board meeting, so that was fun. But I think it's really important for us to acknowledge all of the good work that's going on in our community, and so that I was happy to bring that forward. We had, I think, the shortest meeting that I can remember. Honestly, it was an hour and a half. We started at 9 and ended at 10:33. We had a couple of items. Paws for Paws is really the PAC Animal Care Center is really full, and they're asking for fosters and anyone to adopt. So if you have room in your home and in your heart for a pet, please go and check in with PAC. They're really full and very, I guess for this time in the year, they're more full than normal. So the Board of Supervisors passed 4-1 the land acknowledgement statement. So I'm so happy that that has come, that had been introduced since December. We worked with both tribes to make sure that the language was acceptable, and so I'm happy to say that every board meeting right after the Pledge of Allegiance, a screen will come forward with both flags from the Tohono O'odham and Pasquayaqui nations, and a land acknowledgement will be read. So I'm hoping that we can ask people in our community that are willing to read that for us at the beginning of the board meetings. That would be really great. Otherwise, we'll have a board, one of the supervisors that would like to, but I think it would be great to ask our community to be more a part of our, these public meetings that are here to share information. So I was really happy about that, and I think that, it will help focus our energies in improving partnerships with both nations. So we approved the calendar for hearings, budget hearings, and we have several days set aside. I was advocating to have more meaningful conversations with each department. Our office is going to reach out to several departments. We're going to start with 15 of them that we work with more closely to get an idea of their successes, challenges this year, any changes in the request for budget, and if they had more resources, what they would, focus those resources on, and how staffing is, because I know staffing is a big concern for everyone nationwide, for our schools, for our businesses, and obviously for the county. We had consent agenda passed unanimously, so that was nice, and we did have 2 items that were brought forward by Supervisor Christie. One of them regarding health department role in regional hospitals, which we really don't have a role other than the Pima County Health Department providing suggestions or, being a sounding board, some advice, but we can't control what happens as far as reductions in staff. Those are all things that are covered, and Dr. Garcia said it better than I could, that those are covered by the CEOs of those hospitals, and so that's not something that we as a county have any authority over. The one thing he did say, if we as a community want to improve what's going on and the pretty dire situation that our hospitals and health centers are in, is get vaccinated and get boosted. That would help, because 75% of those that are in the hospital with COVID right now are unvaccinated. And so I think that is an important thing that we can all do collectively. He also brought an item regarding library protocol for medical exemptions of the mask mandate at our libraries. And I just want to say, I think our libraries are bending over backwards and doing everything they can to ensure that patrons have access to everything that the library offers. But we want to make sure that our staff continues to be safe. And so requiring a mask is pretty minimal. If someone has a medical exemption, they have actually set up accommodations for them, but those accommodations are limited, because we want to make sure that the vast majority of our patrons going into the libraries have access and are not concerned for exposure. So the other item that we had, I thought this was a really good item, revision to the personnel policy. What they're going to be doing is, in order to go through a reclassification process, that they're going to do a desk audit and not have to go through an entire audit, which can take years. I think this is going to be really great for a lot of the departments that have felt compression, that have felt like their position has actually expanded, but their compensation hasn't changed because they hadn't been able to go through this reclassification process. So I think some departments that are going to be directly impacted are going to be like our health department, natural resources, a lot of these departments that have taken on more, and our employees have taken on more as a result of COVID protocols and mitigation. So we had a grant that we approved. We're going to send some coronavirus local relief aid to Tucson City of Gastronomy, which I thought was great, and also to Visit Tucson. There was an item regarding precinct line adjustments, and that has to do with the redistricting that happened as a result of the independent redistricting decisions. And so those lines affected legislative and congressional lines, and obviously will have an impact on ours. And so we had to approve this, and Chair Bronson asked that it be continued to February 15th. And so I'm looking forward to be able to support that. And then the biggest item that had, I think, the most discussion was a COVID update. And so I'll go through some of those details, and we're going to have some graphics on our social media that I think are going to be really helpful, so feel free to share those. So we've had 234,000 cases since the pandemic began. 24% of those 234,000 cases happened in January. So this last month, if you knew a lot of people that had COVID, 24% of the people since the pandemic began 2.5 years ago tested positive, and were positive in January, this last month. So we had 7,739 people test positive the second week in January. The prior peak before that second week was 9,000 cases. So almost double the number of people. So it's been a really difficult time this month for our schools, for our businesses. So please just be kind to those people that are continuing to help us keep our lives going. 99.75% of counties are in the same boat nationwide. And so when we talk about, what is Pima County doing? We are doing, except for 3 counties nationwide, we are all in the same boat, and all with incredibly high levels of COVID and contagion. The positivity rate the third week in January was 28%. Just to give you some perspective, July 3rd, when we lifted some of the emergency proclamation, we were at 3%. So 98% of the cases, those positive cases, are the Omicron variant. So that is, our schools reported 6,633 positive cases in January. 44% of those are children under the age of 11, and 250,000 tests have gone out to our schools. So big shout out to the Pima County Health Department, because without those tests, I don't know that we'd be able to keep schools open continuously and not have more of a spread than we do right now. So those were the big items. I do want to give some kudos to our Pima County departments. We have 11 of our departments are fully 100% vaccinated. 23 departments are 90 to 99% vaccinated, and 10 of them are between 80 and 90% vaccinated, or 80 and 89. And then our sheriff's department is 79% vaccinated. I'm so happy to report that, because when we first started looking at these numbers, the sheriff's department was like 39% vaccinated. So we've done some significant movement in the right direction, and I'm glad to say that all of our departments are over 70%. So thank you for your interest in Pima County politics, and for what's going on in Pima County. Que pasa in Pima County. Have a great day and stay safe, my friends.